to deal with the dirt and hurt they are facing? Or is he too distant even to care about their problems in the first place? They just don't know. I understand their pain. I've asked those same questions myself. I carry the heartache of burying a loved one. I have the scars of betrayal from people I trusted as friends. I've been lied about, mocked, and schemed against. Where is God in my yesterday, my today, and my tomorrow? Where is he in all of this dirt and mess? One thing I've learned is to look for his presence in the pain. Instead of just trying to get an answer to make things make sense, I look for his presence in the stuff that doesn't make sense. If I look for him and am sensitive to it, I find him there in meaningful ways. Apparently, God gets his hands dirty just like I do. Maybe that's why I feel I belong there in the dirt. God isn't afraid to be found there. I find him more ready and willing to respond to the broken and to the hard parts of people's lives than in the neatness and the put-togetherness of a nice and pretty church service. Could it be that God is so big, our dirt doesn't bother him as much as it bothers us? Could it be that God isn't as put off by my failures and questions as I think he is? And could it be that he even gently laughs at me when I get mad? I remember what I used to say to my children during their tantrums. Are you done yet? I would remind them that I was the parent and they weren't. Yes, I may have gotten angry with them at times, but not one of their fits ever threatened my love for them. It's just what the bigger person in a relationship does. My friend John's life was changed when he brought this bigger person of God into his life. His struggle was alcohol. It consumed him. After years of brokenness, I saw John in a grocery store one day and he was excited. He announced that he had found Christ and that everything was different. John remembers what I said to him that day, even though I forgot it myself. I believe it was one of those moments when God just took over. John tells me I said, "Remember, you're better off now, but you're not better than anyone else." Because that's where so many of us get put off when people talk to us about God, isn't it? There's that moment we sense them looking down their noses at us as they tell us about God. Then we step back from both that person and God rather than lean forward to think about what God could do in our own lives. When people have this attitude, it doesn't sound like the Jesus we've heard about or would want to follow. When you try to ask for help with the problems you're going through, many of the people who seem caring quickly become disinterested or even put off by the dirt and the mess. Experiences like that can leave us with a bad taste in our mouths for spiritual things. That bad conversation or uncomfortable moment has the real danger of keeping us stuck in the past, resistant to God and to anyone else who might want to bring him up as a difference maker in our lives. God changed me from being chained to my low moments by using my son. Yes, I was and I still am a pastor, but I never have been all that put together. My life's issues had the ongoing tendency to rob my joy and weigh me down both emotionally and physically. You'll hear more about that in the pages to follow. But my son's confidence, innocence, simple childlike faith, and matter-of-factness about heaven and the God who calls heaven home astounded me. In fact, it just plain energized me. The hope my son has for returning to heaven is just as solid as his faith. He misses heaven. He misses his sister, too. But he knows that he's going to see them both again one day. Truth be told, I've imagined meeting my daughter so many times now that I feel like I've had a chance to get to know her through my son. I miss her, too. To this day, I still have a difficult time imagining how a God big enough to hold the world in his hands can exude so much love that a child stands in his presence completely unafraid. But that is exactly my son's description of God. The Bible even backs my son up. The writers in the Bible use more complicated words, but they still describe God the same way. I do believe that perfect love removes all fear, and my son has tried to describe that kind of big God love for years now. My son is more than unafraid, however. He's drawn to the bigness of God. And why wouldn't he be? Who needs a small God? No one does. A small God is no good to anyone. But of course, there's a difference between needing and wanting what we need. I need a big God, and so do you, but I didn't say I want a big God. Sometimes